Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late August 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Tauruses in late August as we move on into Virgo season? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus, please. Let's get this first card out nice and quick for you, my friends. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, set your course. Big future focus type of card here. This could also deal with a lot of planning, strategy. So whether that's something you're currently doing or even something where Spirit's like, all right, Taurus, maybe you should structure this a little bit. It feels nice to me initially. It does have a hopeful energy. And don't worry about them mean mugging us. But before we fully get into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this. So as you can see, we have Alice. She has that orange kitty cat. That one's grinning. She looks a little concerned, actually. But just the whole vibe of it, especially with the set your course type of phrasing on here. I don't always like to read these cards literally, but to me, it's like I need to think ahead here. There's something where I need to be 2 steps ahead of the game. Now, that's not a bad thing. I know Taurus is an earth sign. You're usually very well prepared when it comes to things. Maybe this is about setting goals. Maybe it's like, all right, well, let's just see how something goes. It's like I'm not living in the past. I'm not living in the current. I'm looking ahead, which can be good. Now, there could be certain situations you're going through right now where Spirit might want you to structure it a little bit better, especially if you're more the go with the flow type of Taurus, which I know a lot of you are. Maybe Spirit might want you to structure something where it's like, no, you need to have deadlines. You need to do this. You need to do that. So there could be planning involved too. It doesn't always have to be so structured, but it's like you need to have an idea of something before it kicks in. Something about being prepared. So we're just going to leave it at that. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. And we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Taurus, please. And while we get the deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Very intriguing. The reading was titled A Big Return. Now, that could have been a return of a situation, person, possibly. To me, it felt like something popping back in, like a jack-in-the-box type of vibe. So just know if that didn't happen yet, that could still proceed over the course of the next couple of weeks, where there's things that could just swing back on you. Now, for some of you, that sounds like a good thing. Some of you, maybe not so much. I guess it depends. But, I mean, that's what showed. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Taurus, please. Late August as we move into Virgo season. Okay, Death card. Don't be nervous about that. That could actually be seen as a good card for Taurus, and I will explain the reasoning why. It's powerful, for sure, but we don't get nervous about cards around here. Let's get 2 more. We do not get... All right, cool. So we might be moving into the communication realm here. We got Mr. Page of Wands chilling right there in the center. Believe it or not, I'm liking it, Taurus. I am. Let's get 1 more. 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, the very common theme for the earth signs this week. Okay, so I like the mixture of stuff. And I wouldn't get too freaked out about the Death card, because that could just be residuals from what we saw last week. I'm cautiously optimistic about what I'm seeing. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know, I always like to go through the elements first. And for you, most of this is your comfort zone, right? Because we have the Death card, which is water, which is also Scorpio energy. That is your zodiacal opposite, right? Taurus, Scorpio, they're like a yin-yang type of energy. That's why this energy works for you and works with you, because it's a complementary type of vibe. The fact that it's water, it's the realm of emotions and feelings, and earth and water always mix well. We also have earth right here on the back end with the Eight of Pentacles. That's your power element, that's your comfort zone. Progress. We're moving forward here. Beautiful stuff. Now, earth energy represents the material world. So it could represent work, it could represent business endeavors, it could represent your day to day routine, it could represent your living situation. I like the earthy vibe. And then we have a little bit of fire here in the mix to make sure things don't get too stagnant, right? Fire is the realm of action, movement, making things happen, right? Like this is like a little spark plug right here in the center. So it's intriguing to see how all this energy could play off of each other because they're different areas of life, but it could all combine in a beautiful way. It all seems interlocked. Let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we are starting with the Death card. Now, I gave you a little bit of an overview, and of course, the imagery here, it does look a little concerning, right? We got that Grim Reaper. He's on the horse. He's trampling over people. Don't get concerned about it, right? It's not a bad omen of things to come. And, if you ever watch a movie where a psychic is sitting down at a tarot table or something, I will guarantee 100% of the time they're going to pull the Death card. So don't be nervous about those scare tactics, especially when you see them in shows or movies. But death to me is more about change. It's more about reinventing yourself. Think of a phoenix rising from the ashes. Now, of course, it can represent endings, but to me, it's not like permanent Ten of Swords ending. To me, when I see this card, it's like one chapter closes, a new one opens. So that's why this is such a karmic card. It's very cyclical, where it's like endings bleed into beginnings, which I think is a pretty good thing. And it could just be a shift, right? Whether it's an internal shift, an outer world shift, it's a big card of metamorphosis and change. So nothing to be nervous about. Now, sure, maybe some of you have recently had some endings. That could be the case. But we're not going to dwell there because this card isn't meant to dwell anywhere, actually. Other things we could think of are just karmic situations, karmic cycles, and stuff like that. This card can also represent reliving the past. So interesting that, and that's one of the downsides of the Death card. We saw last week things that could potentially return and pop back up. The Death card could sometimes represent that in its reverse form. So we'll take a look at it. We will see. Now, moving to the middle, where we have like this chapter switch with the Death card, we have the Page of Wands chilling right here. And this is very similar to Aces. Pages are messengers, they're students, they represent new things, new endeavors, new people. It's fresh, it's vibrant, it's youthful. So we really like this, especially on the tail end of the Death card, because it's like, all right, chapter, then the Page of Wands, fiery, sparks things into action. Really, really beautiful. Pages, specifically this one, could be a bit of a chatterbox, right? There could be a lot of conversation, speaking, talking. Now, the issue with this page, or the downside, it could sometimes burn itself out or not put enough energy into something. So there might be that fine balance, and I've been seeing that through all the earth signs. Are you putting in enough energy? Are you not putting in enough? Like there could be that balancing act when this card is here. A downside to the page can also be a little shy, a little bashful. It's not a guarantee. So there could be certain situations where they might look great. There's a potential for something big, but it's not guaranteed. Now, moving to the back end, and we'll see. I'm not saying that's definitely it. We'll see when we clarify. But we have the Eight of Pentacles. Beautiful. This showed up in the Virgo reading, and I had similar vibes in the Capricorn reading this week, too. So it's an earth sign thing. This could tie in with work, business, and career, literally. We see the person, they're at their little workbench, chiseling away. It's very creative, it's very artisanal, so any creative pursuits or endeavors are highly favored in this time. For some of you, if you have pent-up energy, Spirit might want you to get it out, especially with the Page of Wands here as well. Eight of Pentacles, if we're not talking about work and career-based things, it's effort. When we're talking about relationships and connections, it's like, I want to give to this. I want to build on this. This could also represent fixing things, mending things. Now, the only issue with the Eight of Pentacles is that sometimes it could be working a little too hard or not enough. So you see that little theme that we have here about balancing of the energy? This energy could sometimes force things as well. So I want to dive deeper on all of it, Taurus. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What's happening? Please, the guides and spirit team. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Death card. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Taurus, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what's up with death. Why is it here? Please. Thank you. Seven of Swords in reverse. It's like I kind of saw it coming. All right, so there could be various situations, things, changes where it's like I knew it was going to happen. It's like I see it in the distance before it goes down. Now that again, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. If the Seven of Swords was in the upright, I would be much more concerned about the energy I see here, because then I'd be like, okay, this is an ending, or this is a change that you absolutely do not see coming. But the way it shows up to me is like, yeah, no, I kind of read it in the tea leaves. I kind of knew. My intuition told me this was going to happen. So there could be various situations. I'm not saying endings. I mean, for some of you, it could be endings, but it's like various situations or changes where it's like, I knew it was coming. Like I knew it. So a lot of you probably have a very good intuition about things, especially with the Seven of Swords in reverse. It's like, yeah, no, I know everything. And not in like an arrogant type of way. It's like, yeah, no, I knew it. I knew this was going to happen. It gives me that kind of vibe. Now, that doesn't have to be a bad thing, okay? Sometimes it's good to have a little bit of foresight. And that's what this feels like. And if you remember way back to the Oracle card we had, where I was like, we're looking ahead, we're looking ahead, this kind of ties in. So aside from that little message about knowing something's going to go down, this could also just represent a change, like a big karmic change or shift in the energy. So just know, like, if you are going through a transformative period right now, there could potentially be a very large karmic shift in your trajectory, where you're going, where a situation itself might be going. Like the energy feels very changeable and malleable to me, which I think is a good thing. Let's keep moving. But the main initial message I'm picking up off of that was like, yeah, no, I knew that was going to happen. I knew it. But let's see what's up with the Page of Wands. So why is the page here? I don't think this is the main part of the read. I mean, it's important, of course, because it's here. But why is the Page of Wands? Yeah, more of the karmic energy here. The universe balancing something off could be huge, especially with Lady Justice underneath the Page of Wands, where it's like, no, it's in the universe's hands right now. So I'm not sure if there's certain things where you're getting into that mode and mindset where it's like, I've done what I can do, or I've done all I can do. It's in God's hands, or it's in the universe's hands. That's just how this feels to me. It's like I'm trusting in a different power than myself. Now, Lady Justice does tie into Libra energy. Um, sure, this could be a talk or a conversation coming in. It does feel serious, especially with her in the Page of Wands. That's one little side message I could give. This could most definitely be like a serious or an important talk with this combination. But at the same time, when we're looking bigger picture, especially with the Death card, now her underneath the Page of Wands, it's like, no, the universe will take care of this. This is the universe getting involved, or spirit, or God, or whatever label we want to put on it. It's like karma getting dished out in one way or another. Now, again, I'm not saying something bad's going to happen to you or anything like that. But to me, it's like it's in the universe's hands and they're going to serve up what is deserved. That's how it feels, especially with Lady Justice. Let's keep moving. I feel like I don't even need to linger there. So it is either that serious or important talk or the karma getting served up hot and fresh, my friends, especially with these two. Let's keep moving over to the Eight of Pentacles. And we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. Let's see what's happening. And the interesting thing is, especially if this comes to fruition, I feel like this energy will kick in for you where it's like, yeah, no, I knew that was going to happen. Like it still feels like that. So there could be various things that you're seeing before they elapse. Let's go in on the Eight of Pentacles. Let's see what that has, please, for Taurus. Thank you. Okay. So we do have the Five of Wands, and it's an energy that you could be embodying where it's like, I'm not going to let anything get in my way. I mean, it's a very determined type of energy where it's like, I will see something through. Now, for some of you, watch out for conflict with the circle around you. I'm not saying it's definitely you, but when I see the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Wands, it's like somebody making something harder than it needs to be. It's either that or your determination level. Now, I know about Taurus energy. When you have something in mind, when you have a goal in mind, when there's something you're working towards, there's nothing that will change your mind unless it's yourself or realizations that you come to. So to me, this is an energy that's set. It's like, you know what? My mind is made up. I don't care how tough it is. this is what I'm doing and I will see it through. So there could be various things where you're committing to it or committing to see something through, whether it's a process or something else. But then just watch out for people that make things harder than they need to be as well. Especially on the outside with the Five of Wands, you see the people. I always say it's one of the cards you don't need to be too. You don't need to be an expert in tarot to understand it. The five people beating each other up with sticks. So when I see it under the Eight of Pentacles, it's like things would go easier if you just would not do this. Like it doesn't have to be this difficult. It doesn't have to be this hard. It's actually pretty easy if you just follow the steps. Weird. I mean, not weird in a bad way, but I wasn't expecting that to show up. But I think for the most part, I like your energy this week. I will say that, but there are some big picture type of energies rolling through. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. So a lot of stuff came through for you. Only take what fits for you. But position number one, we have the Death card with the Seven of Swords in reverse. Now, of course, this could be a change, a metamorphosis you're going through. Maybe some of you have recently had an ending. We're not even going to fully go down that route. But to me, the first foremost message I was getting was like knowing something was going to happen. Where it's like, I knew it. I knew it. I felt it. I knew it. I called it. It's like I made that prediction. So there could be a lot of things that come to fruition, and you kind of knew beforehand. There is the powerful karmic energy shifting as well. So for a lot of you, big time of metamorphosis. And we see it even more as we move to the middle. We have the Page of Wands with Lady Justice in the upright. Now, I did say for some of you, this could be a serious or an important talk, conversation, communication coming in. Absolutely. But the main thing I'm feeling here is the universe taking the wheel, the universe taking control. So whether you're putting yourself in a position where it's like, you know what? The universe or God will do what they must. Whatever happens, happens. It's giving me that type of vibe. Either that or the universe is serving up some hot and fresh karmic energy here. Moving to the back end, we have the Eight of Pentacles with the Five of Wands. Either there is something you are committed to seeing through 100%, or you will in the short future, or this is someone that could be making things harder than they need to be, where it's like, oh, it would be a lot easier if you would just go with the flow. Hopefully, I mean, for some of you, maybe Spirit's asking you to not fight against the current. Maybe Spirit's asking you to just go with the flow as well. So do with that what you will, Taurus. Please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right. Let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. What do we got for Taurus? Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get you going here. One shadow card for my Tauruses, please. What do we got? Thank you. Ten of Swords. Okay, very common shadow card, and that's why I say whenever this shows up in the shadows, yeah, I mean, it's one of the more challenging cards in the whole entire deck, but it's meant to be a shadow card, right? Because Ten of Swords moments are meant to be impactful, right? Like this can represent endings, pain, and loss, right? That you still might be internalizing or you still might be working through. It's not 100% healed when we see it in the shadows. This doesn't mean that you have a Ten of Swords moment coming up right now. Okay, don't get that twisted. When we do think about shadow cards and shadow energy, it's things that we might not be fully focused on or things we might not be fully aware of. So when we see it in the shadows, it's an energy that maybe Spirit's saying what you're going through now could actually be very healing for whatever this is. So watch out for some ups and downs. That's one thing I will say. This energy won't just resolve itself. It might just need some time. So Taurus, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you'd like to have a little chat with me, you can book a personal reading with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The calendar for August is up, so you could go check out the availability over there. But for the August subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my most favorite decks, the classic Gilded Tarot Royale. It's beautiful, and it's definitely one of my go-to decks. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, we have a very easy question this month. Out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one is your favorite? Is it the one that attaches to your zodiac sign? Is it one where you just like the art? You can put that answer down in the comments and you will be entered to win, my friends. And as usual, the winners will be announced in the community tab at the end of the month. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.